Hey everyone, Parallel here. Welcome to Star Trek Online. Now that Season 12 is out, I hope everyone is enjoying the new content. And in particular, I've been enjoying one of the new space queues, which is the Tzenkethi Front. And that will be the subject of this video. I will do a run-through of the Tzenkethi Front and maybe give a couple of tips, a few things I've learned along the way in the runs I've done so far. And I also try to explain why I think this is a pretty fantastic queue. I really like the design of this particular fight, and there's just so many ways you can approach this queue, which makes me really appreciate it. It really has a few unique mechanics and a lot of ways to complete it. It's not necessarily just like a DPS race. And so it has some tactical options, which I think is a great thing that is missing in a lot of queues. And I'm trying to find it here. I would like to do the advanced version. Where is it? These, yes, it starts with the advanced. Okay, we'll do it right here. Tzenkethi Front Advanced. We have to defend the Eta Serpentis system against a Tzenkethi assault by turning their proto-matter weapons against them. Which is cool. That's one of the unique mechanics in this particular queue, where I'll explain it in the queue itself in more detail, but basically you have to kill the ships that have a proto-matter bomb. You have to then steal the bomb and deliver it to the enemy bases to destroy them. And that is part of what makes the queue unique, is that mechanic opens up quite a bit of tactical options. So like I said, it's not necessarily just a DPS race, and that's one of the things I really like about this queue. It has some different options. You can run like a really fast escort to deliver the bombs quickly. You could run a tanky ship to try to defend the base from the incoming bombs, because the ships that are carrying those bombs are actually trying to take out that Eta Serpentis base. So there's kind of two things you need to watch there. The incoming cruisers with the bombs, or I guess they're actually battleships, with the bombs coming towards your base, taking them out, and then delivering bombs to the enemy base. And yeah, one of the things that makes it great is the lack of a time gate. There's no timer on this. So you can build your ship or adjust your tactics to complete this mission very quickly. And it even rewards teamwork. If you work together as a team and coordinate just a little bit, have certain people carry the bombs to certain bases, maybe have one person stay back to defend the base. It works really well. So yeah, those are a lot of great things about this. And if you, I can see once more of the pickup groups are a little more used to this queue or more experienced in it, I think it will go a lot faster. Even now that, a lot of people are obviously new still, since Season 12 has only been out for a couple days. But even in this queue, you can somewhat solo carry it just by killing if you just focus on those battleships, take them down quickly, and deliver the bomb to the enemy bases. It works quite well, even from a solo perspective. You can complete it fairly quickly. It may not be as quick as, Crystalline Entity, of course, or probably not even as quick as, Infected Space. But still, in its own right, it is fast. And I like the fact that the speed of the queue is determined by your skill, your build, instead of some artificial time gate or, timer or whatever. I wonder why this is taking so long. Usually this is quite a fast queue. Okay, just waiting for one more person. So for this mission, I will be using my Faeht. Like I said, I do recommend for the most part you run a fast, escort for this. For delivering the bombs, it is quite helpful. Although you could take a slower ship and kind of position yourself as the defender of the base. You don't necessarily. You could even use a science ship, with a gravity well or tractor beam repulsors really work well in keeping those the proto-matter bomb ships away from your base. But but I've found for the most part the time determining factor is how fast you can kill those battleships and then deliver the bombs to the bases. And a fast ship helps a lot in that regard, because once you have picked up the bomb and it's on your ship and you're carrying it to the base, you can't go to full impulse. You can't in fact, you can't cloak either, which is kind of a bummer. So the cloaking part doesn't help, but you can't go to full impulse. So you want to use a nice fast ship to get them to the base quickly. And the Faeht is very, very maneuverable, so I do like the ship, and you can see the build I'm using here. It's nothing too special. But that is the approach I will be taking for this. I'll be focusing on taking out those battleships and delivering the bombs. But that's what I like about it. There's a couple different ways to play this. You could, do an aggro tank and defend the base. You could do a science ship and just crowd control the battleships coming towards your base. And particularly on like the elite difficulty, I would think that is a more important role. In the lower difficulties with enough DPS, you could probably take the battleships out fast enough. But on the elite difficulty, you might want to have at least one person in the party hang back to either crowd control or aggro tank the incoming battleships so they don't destroy your base. So we'll take a look at the objectives once we get into the mission, but saving your base is one of the optionals. And, of course, taking out the enemy bases is the other one. So, all right.
The battle is almost here. The Tzenkethi are launching proto-matter bombs at our defenses in the Edda-Zapinta system. It is up to us to stop them. Find the Tzenkethi ships carrying the bombs and neutralize them. Take recovered bombs to the Tzenkethi bases and then use our own weapons to destroy them. Fight well for honor and glory.
And, of course, the wonderful voice work of Tommy Todd. So let me just pull up the map real quick so you can see here you start, and then there are 5 bases that you have to take out. And the ships carrying the bombs are these ones that have this big mark on top of them. I think I lost my cloak, unfortunately. So you can see right here there's a battleship and a cruiser. They like to hang out together. You may have to take out the cruiser first because the Tzenkethi support cruisers do shoot a little beam onto the battleship that will make them invulnerable.
You've got a bomb.
Okay, so got the bomb. Let's figure out where we're going to take it. Let's take it over here.
Keep fighting.
So I do recommend once you have the bomb, since you can't go to full impulse, if you use your evasive maneuvers, that will get you there quite quickly. Now, to deliver the bomb, you do have to be uninterrupted, and it is quite a long activation to actually deliver the bomb to the base. So you do have to... Well, there's a couple ways to do it. You can't cloak, right? So one way is what I'm doing right here, which is to just try to take out these defending ships quickly. There's 3 lighter vessels and then 1 battleship defending each base. That's one way to do it. And then once they're all dead, you can come in here and launch the bomb. So it does take a while, as you can see. And if you get hit during that time, it will interrupt you.
Another Tzenkethi base.
Wow, it actually did damage me. I couldn't quite remember if you could get damage from the explosion. But yeah, so when I go back for another bomb, just do a quick situational analysis here to see if any of the enemy vessels are near the base. My teammates are taking out that one, so I'm going to focus on this one again. Because these, they're trying to take it to your base over there. And if they get there, I believe they one-shot it. Because you can look at the optional mission, optional base not disabled. I do believe they actually do one-shot your base if they actually get to it. Alright, how about some phaser lance? That was not particularly impressive. I should have buffed up first, but this guy is taking quite a bit of a beating here. Alright, there we go. Let's grab the bomb. Now what I'm going to try to do on this next one is, I've heard you can line of sight this group, this battle group, right? No, I didn't. So I'm going to try to go over here, park myself under the base here, and launch the bomb. Haha, it's working. Come on, don't get out of my line of sight.
Well fought.
Yes, it works. So you can, if you want. Yeah, if you want. You don't even have to kill the enemies defending the base. You can just line of sight them. So that's cool. I like that. I like that this is really not, you know, like I said, it's not a DPS race. You can approach this with different ways. I mean, for example, if you take like a... I don't see any other bomb carriers. Is this guy a bomb carrier? But if you take like a... Oh, here they are. Aha.
Only one Tzenkethi base left.
But you could take a, you know, an alternative route here. I mean, you could just go for all-out speed. Take like a Ryza Corvette or something, or like a pilot ship would be really good for this. And just, yeah, I'm gonna buff up here. I don't know why these guys are taking such a long time to take out. But yeah, you could take just like a really fast maneuverable ship. I mean, you do have to be somewhat armed to be able to take out these battleships. But I found that Tzenkethi offensively are not super threatening. At least, you know, at least on advanced mode, they're not too bad.
You've got a bomb.
So you could, you know, you don't need a super tanky ship necessarily, but you do need enough damage to be able to take them out. Let's go ahead and evasive maneuvers here. You do need enough damage to be able to take them out to get the bomb. But to deliver the bomb, to deliver the bomb, you could just be in a really maneuverable ship, fly right underneath the base there, and deliver it without actually killing these enemies. So you could go with like a really fast maneuverable ship for that. I'm going to try that again here. There is the Dreadnought, so once you complete, once it's only down to one base left, the Dreadnought will come in. Yep, I can even line sight at the Dreadnought. Works great. But, no. Oh, did we fail? Did one of the bombs reach the starbase? My goodness, I really wasn't... I did not see one make it. Well, whatever the case. Yeah, it's not good. I don't know how we missed that. Let's go ahead and get intel on this guy. Yeah, one must have made it, but I guess they don't one-shot it, so that the base does have a health bar. But then that's it. Once you take out the 5 bases, defeat the Dreadnought, and you're all set. And again, the Dreadnought is not too threatening. Again, it's very tanky. A lot of the Tzenkethi ships are very tanky, but they're not particularly super damaging, at least from what I've found. Alright, so let's go ahead and accept the rewards. We did fail the one optional, so I'm curious to see what our rewards will be, so let's do it. This is in advanced mode, so we get the 720 dilithium, decent amount of spec expertise, or experience, sorry, and it went away. Let's see what we got here. We got our daily marks, we got 70 marks and the daily, and then we did get one of the protomatter, what are they called? What are the elite marks here? Protomatter micro containers. So if you do not advance, you do get the protomatter micro container and a good amount of marks, about 125-ish marks there, and that was with failing one of the optionals. I believe if we had actually defeated all the optionals, it would be a little bit more than that. Actually, let me pull up, yeah, mission report here.
We defeated the Tzenkethi and defended the front with honor. The Tzenkethi system is now secure.
Weird. So it says base survived 0 marks. Is that... But the base survived, so I'm not quite sure what that means. But it says no bombs at the base 0. So we probably could have got, I would think, maybe anywhere from 10 to 20 more marks for doing those optionals. Yeah, so you could get probably up to maybe one... Well, I mean, if you do your daily and you get the daily box, you could probably get, you know, up to maybe 150. So maybe around 100 marks tops if it's not the daily, without the daily bonus. but otherwise not bad. You do get a advanced R&D Q material reward package. Okay, so it's Tellurium K is the rare you get, which is good. It's a handy material to have for crafting. And then you get one of the micro containers, and you get a good, anywhere from 70 to 100 marks if you do all the optionals. So it is, it's fast. It was a fast queue. It's, yeah, pretty easy to do. You can get your elite marks, you can get your regular marks. It is pretty efficient as far as time-wise goes. So I like it a lot. All right, let's go ahead and head out. So, yeah, fun little queue. Huh? It's actually, I like that. I think like I said, once people get more experienced at this, it will go a lot faster. And if people actually coordinate with their team, you could make it even go. I think you could make this go really fast. Like I could just picture like a coordinated fleet team going in there with going into like the elite queue. You take like 4 pilot ships, take like 4 pilot ships and maybe one either a science ship to guard the base and make sure none of the ships none of the bomb carrying ships make it to the base. It could be a sciencey ship, could be a tanky ship. A science ship with tractor beam repulsors or gravity wells could keep those at bay, while the 4 other pilot ships just go out, take out the bomb ships, and very quickly fly over to the bases and deliver the protomatter bombs very quickly, and you could complete that so fast. And then just at the end, you just have to take out the dreadnought, which on elite difficulty probably has quite a few hit points. Probably would be quite an HP sponge to get through. But still, with full 5 team there, with decent gear, this is actually a very fast queue, which I like. And it's a very enjoyable queue. You could play it differently. You could play the fast ship that delivers the payloads. You could play the science ship to keep the other bomb ships away. There's options. I like that, all those different tactical options. It's not necessarily a DPS race, and lots of viable builds and ships, abilities that you can use. So I think it's, all in all, a pretty great queue. And like I said, the greatest thing of all is it's not time gated. There's not like some timer going off where you have to defend the base for 10 minutes. So no matter how good you do, you're going to be stuck there for 10 minutes. I really like that, that is not present. I'm not a fan of time gating, which is unfortunate. The other queue, the Gravity Kills queue, does have some time gating. I will be doing a video on that queue in the future, but this time I just wanted to take a look at the Tzenkethi Front queue. All right, so hopefully you found that helpful. Like I said, fun queue, even pretty efficient for grinding out your marks for your Lucaria reputation. Pretty easy way to get the elite marks as well. So yeah, that's pretty good. So just quickly before I close the video here, I did mention previously that I was going to do a video and go through the patch notes in detail, but I'm just going to go up here. Where is it? In truth, I was looking through the patch notes, and in all honesty, other than the new content, there's not really a whole lot of changes there. Or let me rephrase that. There's not like any major system changes there. What I do see in the patch notes are a lot of like small bug fixes, refinements, which I do greatly appreciate. I really like that Cryptic has kind of focused a lot of their efforts on debugging a lot of these long-standing issues and going through, like, there's a lot of fixes for particular missions, and all of that stuff really adds to the polish of the game. And in all honesty, I think that ever since the console releases in particular, I think is really driving Cryptic to resolve a lot of these really long-standing little tiny bugs that have been around forever. So I did see a lot of that in the patch notes, but there's not really a need to go through all of that in detail. If there's some particular bug that you've been experiencing, go through the patch notes, see if it was fixed. I mean, in particular, one thing I had noticed was they fixed how invincibility works, and also with the continuity trait works. So that was good to see. But lots of nice little polish changes in there, and I'm glad that Cryptic is focusing on that. All of that really adds to the polish of the game, and that's always good to see. But otherwise, really most of the patch is just the contents itself. I mean, you've got the of Signs and Portents, which is the featured episode. I just did a video on that. I actually found it quite enjoyable as well. A very fun mission with introduction to the Tzenkethi and continuation of the Lukari, Lukari exploration and getting to know their race better. Learned a lot of lore behind them, so it was a good mission. I don't know, it's kind of refreshing to have missions that are not like every mission is you're at war with some menacing alien race that's about to destroy the entire galaxy. For example, the Iconian missions, pretty much every mission was, if you fail this mission, the galaxy is destroyed, that type of thing. And don't get me wrong, I did actually like the Iconian story arc, but it is good to have, a change. It's, it's refreshing to go back to what kind of feels like, like an old school TNG episode, right? Like where Enterprise would go to some new alien race, encounter some kind of issue, and then have to, deal with that through the plot and the resolution. And that kind of feels like how this Lukari storyline is going. Each little episode feels almost like an episode of the show, like a TNG episode. So I've been liking those. It has the new queues. So there are 2 new queues. The one I just showed you, which is the Tzenkethi Front. There's the other one, Gravity Kills, which will be coming in a future video. But like I said, the Tzenkethi Front is a great queue. I like that it's not, I already went through all the advantages of it, but the fact that it's not time-gated makes me think that I will actually enjoy grinding this queue, as opposed to some of the other queues. Seems like so many of the reputation queues that have been out, space queues that have been out in the last few reputations, have always been really time-gated. And time-gated queues are just so hard to grind, because you're stuck there. Even if you succeed and take out all the enemies, you're stuck there for the timer. So I really do appreciate this new queue not being time-gated. That will help a lot. I think they'll help the longevity of that queue. When a lot of queues die off after the initial rush, only a few actually remain active. And it's usually the less annoying ones, the ones that completed more quickly and efficiently, and the ones that are fun. And I think the Tzenkethi Front is fun just because of all the different, tactical options you can use to complete the mission. Yes, another big thing here is the new space battle zone. This was broken yesterday. I believe in the patch, there was a small patch today, the day after the release of Season 12, where this was supposedly fixed. I actually haven't gone back to check to confirm that, but this should be fixed now. So I will be definitely checking that out in a future video. That's another thing I'm looking forward to. Usually the battle zones are also quite efficient for grinding your marks. But this time it is nice to have the Tzenkethi Front as another viable option if you want to grind out your marks. But yeah, the new battle zone, visually I liked it a lot, because I went there yesterday, but none of the enemies were spawning. But visually, I could look at the zone. It did look nice. It actually looks like it's in outer space, as opposed to being in an orange cloud or an orange nebula, like every other space battle zone seems to be. So it is actually nice to have it in an open space type area, and I like that a lot. Yes, of course, the new Lukari Restorative Initiative reputation. This, this is why you're doing the queues. This is why you want to do the battle zone, because you need to grind out this new reputation. Looks like there are some good things here. I want to do a separate video on this because there is so much to cover on it. But it has all the new traits. You've got all the new equipment. It's got a new space set, of course. I believe it has some new ground modules I want to check out, some kit modules. It has this new piezoelectric sets, Polaron weapons. So I do want to take a look at all of that, but I'm thinking it's probably worth it to wait until I grind out a bit more of it. Maybe even max it out, so it'll be like a month maybe, but and actually be able to take a look at all the gear and give it a full evaluation. I am interested to see the ground kit modules, though. They sounded actually pretty interesting, and I wanted to, I think you get those. When do you get those? You usually get those fairly early. Like, you don't have to grind out the entire reputation. Mark 3. Technical kit modules. Okay, so you need to get to tier 3. So maybe I'll do one of my ground kit module reviews when I get this to tier 3. So it's still probably a week or so away. little over a week. I don't exactly recall how long it takes to get to tier 3. But yeah, what is it, 32,000? So, and I guess it's a little bit farther than that. So you're looking at maybe what, like 12, couple weeks, 12 to 14 days. So yeah, a couple weeks, I'll do a video on that. But they sound cool. Some electric abilities. I like that they're expanding to more damage types here. You know, electric abilities, electric lattice sounded pretty interesting. So yeah, these all look good. I want to do a video on those. So we'll do another video later on the Lucari restoration. But for now, just know that you want to grind out your marks and, you know, keep doing your daily project to get this reputation up. And then finally, the new school for kits and kit modules. Again, this is another piece of content that is fairly time-gated because you're going to have to go through grinding out your R&D school. But this also had some interesting looking kit modules that you could build with this reputation. So there, or not reputation, with this R&D school. So you've got these passive modules. Can I mouse over this? Does it say? It doesn't say what it does. I'm actually very curious to see what these passive modules do, because they would have to be quite good to give up an active module for a passive module. You're giving up a lot. There's a lot of opportunity costs there, so I hope these are good. But it is unique. I mean, that's not something that's been available before. You haven't had passive modules before. And of course, you can also craft the kit frames. But yeah, I usually hold off on actually building anything. Oh, there's that ground kit booster as well. What does it? Increase your kit performance? Yeah. So that'd be cool. It's something you can use on the ground. But yes, I'd like, of course, to rank this up first before I start actually crafting things, because then you get a lot more crits and it's just better. Plus, when you get this to rank 15, you will unlock the personal trait, which I probably think around when you get this to rank 15 would be a good time to do a review of this kit module R&D school. But that is all the new content, and that pretty much covers Season 12. Like I said, there's only, in the patch notes, there's really only other minor changes that are, yeah, not super interesting, but still, it's good to see them doing it. It's good to see Cryptic, you know, resolving all these minor issues and actually document them in the patch notes. The patch notes have been quite thorough lately as well, so definitely kudos to Cryptic on you know, buckling down on these getting all these defects resolved and making the patch notes nice and descriptive. All right. So that is pretty much all the new content in Season 12. And so we've covered a few things so far. We've looked at the Tzenkethi Front queue and the featured episode. So there's quite a bit left to look at. And so yeah, next thing will probably be the Battle Zone. That's the one thing I really wanted to look at. Hopefully I'll be able to get that video up this weekend, if possible. Hopefully we'll be able to do that if time is permitting. Unfortunately, sometimes time escapes me. So, but yeah, guys, Tzenkethi Front, check it out. It's a very fun queue. Bring your fast ship if you want to deliver the bombs. It's actually quite fun to fly around and blow up the bases, deliver the payload. So it's kind of fun. It's a pretty unique queue, and it's very fast. And yeah, what can I say? I definitely give it a high grade. All right, guys, that is all. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.